Welcome to the pod.
Welcome to the pod.
Boldly going nowhere.
Boldly going
Welcome
nowhere.
to Boldly Going Nowhere, the podcast about Star Trek and Star Trek related things. I am your host for the day, Captain Too Far. And with me are...
I'm also your host for the day, Ren Andromeda.
And you're also our host for the day.
No, that
Our hostess with the mostest.
hostess with the mostest. I'm shell shock, perpetually unemployed Davo girl.
Shell, how is it going being an unemployed Dabo girl this week?
You know, it's tough out there. It's the streets are mean, and
Have you been looking for work?
I've been looking for lobes in all the wrong places. Embarrass myself.
That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we wish you the best in your employment
Appreciate it.
search.
Yeah.
Let us
Appreciate
know
it.
next week what's
Yeah.
going on with it.
Yeah, check
Yeah, we
me out
really-
on LinkedIn.
OnlyFans.
OnlyFans.
What would be-
only lobes.
What
Yeah.
would be the Star Trek equivalent of not OnlyFans? Well, maybe OnlyFans, but I was thinking like what's a prominent dating app?
In what? In the Star
Like-
Trek universe?
Like
Yeah.
OkCupid or Match.com or
Yeah.
Right.
Seek-
Or
Tinder,
Grindr.
Tinder, yeah.
seeking arrangements.
Bumble.
Yeah. Farmers only.
Farmers only. Yeah, what would be the? What
It would
be
probably
the
be
Star Trek?
something there. It'd probably be something dumb like kind of like there's the Fish in the Sea app or something. That'd be Stars in the Sky.
Yeah.
No,
something-
that's
something like
terribly
that.
dumb.
Exactly.
It's awful.
Yeah.
Maybe you just be on a
Um,
Ferengi app just trying to get a Ferengi employer like Quark and Deep Space Nine. Because they're the ones that are like hiring the Dabo girls because they're running establishments.
Does anyone else do Dabo? I'm sure there must be other Dabo. I mean, I don't know much about
I'm going to have to
Dabo
look
lore.
that
Have
up
to- yeah, I'll have to
in the
check that.
lore. Yeah.
That's all right. As soon as it becomes lore, they'll just throw it out the window, change their mind, retcon it all.
It turns out Michael Burnham invented Dabo.
Oof.
What can't she do? I know. We agree to disagree. To agree to disagree.
We'll get into it.
We
We'll get
will.
into it
We
all.
will.
When
Yeah,
we go
yeah,
over
yeah.
our Discovery episodes.
about all of our Star Trek feelings.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so have you seen Section 31,
Yes.
the new movie?
I have, unfortunately. Have you, Shell?
I have. I've seen a lot of it because I
Why?
didn't- well as
Well, I mean, why not the whole thing is what I mean to ask.
no I've seen the whole thing now. The first time that we watched it, I might have been. Not, but-
Actually, that's fair.
Yeah. Actually, yeah.
Yeah.
Right, because if it had been good,
Maybe you wouldn't have fallen
maybe
asleep.
I wouldn't have fallen asleep. So I had to go back and check a second time. It turns out
So you didn't like Section 31?
there were parts of it that I didn't hate. There were they killed off two of what I thought were some of the most interesting characters in that little crew.
The little guy that lives in the Irish Vulcan man.
That was one of the things I wanted to rant about. Why, in the name of all that's holy, does he have a fucking Irish accent?
Whoa.
Sorry. I
I have to agree with
Like-
Shell Shock on this.
Why?
I have to agree.
Why?
Yeah, that's what I was saying the entire time I was
Like,
watching.
it's
It's
so-
nonsense.
It's it pulls you out of, the story.
Yeah.
Because you're like, I just want to slap you right now.
Yeah.
Irish people want to slap you right now.
Well, maybe that's what they're trying to tell us, though. Maybe it's meta.
Band.
And all Irish people have little gray aliens inside their heads.
That's true.
You think that's?
I think that's what they're trying to tell us.
You make a good point.
Yeah.
What did you think, Chris?
I thought it was the greatest movie ever made. Please sponsor us, Paramount Pictures.
I just want
It was not the greatest movie
No.
ever made.
no, but
Top 5.
it does have one redeeming quality, at least one, which is that we get Michelle Yeoh's amazing wardrobe.
Okay.
parade.
Yeah, well, I thought you were
So-
going to say Michelle Yeoh,
And also Michelle Yeoh.
I was about to say, actually, I feel like it was an insult to her as an actor, like whoever wrote this
The
garbage
writing.
script.
Yeah.
But because you said wardrobe,
Yeah.
that's okay.
Yeah,
I'll
she
give
just
you that.
Whoever's dressing her at Paramount. Oh my God, I
Yeah,
want to have your
yeah, they
baby.
did good
Yes.
with that.
Good
yeah,
costumes,
the coats
yeah.
are good and stuff.
Oh,
Well,
and
let's go back to the beginning before we get too
Okay.
far into the
Yeah,
like unleashing our trauma.
yeah,
right.
yeah.
What was Section 31 about?
Oh,
So Philippa Giorgio,
Philippa.
Philippa. So right, she was running some sort of a nightclub,
Space station.
space club, space station
Yeah.
slash club slash space station,
Space station.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and then
And then,
Section 31 crew. We meet them for the first time. They show
Yeah.
up and are stalking her
Did that whole scene
badly.
not feel like something that we've seen before?
It did.
Like in
Yeah.
Ocean's 11
Yes.
or some kind of like really
Mhm.
like kind of cheesy,
Mhm.
the spy crew getting ready to pull off the heist.
hmm
Oh, we should say something about spoilers,
Oh yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert! Weep,
Spoiler
weep,
alert.
Weep, weep, weep.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen the movie and you want to watch it, then you should watch it now because
Yeah.
we're about to
We're about
really get into
Yeah,
it
we're
here.
about to
Sorry, folks.
ruin your
I
hopes
think
and
the word
dreams.
spoiler is probably the wrong word.
Oh,
Nothing's
okay.
really going to be spoiled.
No, it won't be spoiled.
Yeah.
That
It
was-
probably will make
ooh,
it better.
That was
Actually,
harsh.
Yeah.
Yeah,
harsh.
Our
But you'll
commentary will
know
help.
things.
Commander too far. Oh, sorry, Captain too far.
Yeah, what is
Oh,
your name again?
Captain Too Far.
Captain too far.
You've gone too far.
Too far. Yeah, and it's one of those situations where life imitates art,
Mm-hmm.
because that's just who he is.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so there's the casino scene.
Yeah.
Well, and so then the spy crew. Right?
Yeah.
Go to-
Badly spying, positioning themselves to leap.
yeah, yeah.
They come with a proposition for her, and they want to get her back into Section 31 because she's kind of taken space from it to manage the space station. And they're like, "Come on, we got a gig for you." And then
It'll
she's
be
tempted
fun.
by it. She's
Yeah.
doing like space drugs with one of them, which actually kind of seemed a little
was
bit
like-
fun.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like nose glitter.
Some kind of like
but it
space
came out instead
ketamine.
of, like going in.
Yeah,
Space
yeah.
ketamine.
I would do
Space
it.
ketamine.
I would do it.
Cosmo ketamine.
Yeah, or maybe
Death
it's like
sticks.
nitrous or
That's the-
something.
Yeah.
So she was in Section 31 already
Yes,
previously.
that's right. Which we see in Discovery,
Right. And that's in the second season, right?
season
Mhm,
2. Yeah.
mhm. With an equally amazing wardrobe.
Oh,
So good.
so good.
So good.
God, she's hot and cool.
Oh my God, that bondage suit. I want it so bad.
Yeah, it had all the strappy
Yeah, and it
parts. It
cut
was
out.
almost like a mesh.
It was cut
Like a
out
mesh
around her.
strappy
That
thing.
was the homework
what?
episode you assigned us.
Oh,
And she was, sorry, Mike's thing, cut out around her boobs. It had these little,
that'd be good for a Dabo girl.
it would. It'd be good for everybody. Everybody should.
Yeah, where's your strappy suit?
I'm unemployed. I don't have Philippa Giorgio budget.
Yeah,
All right, that's fair.
yeah, Chris.
So,
Oh,
is there a Star Trek Temu? Right, where you can get cheap. I feel like
that would be
for,
Shine
for
or something.
Earth, for
For
Earthlings
outfits.
currently.
for outfits, yeah, in the Star Trek universe. I feel like that's
Yeah.
where everyone in the next gen
No,
era
they
was getting their
replicate-
outfits because everyone was wearing the same
They replicate it.
jumpsuit.
It's all replicated. You
Oh,
put in
I
your
guess.
specifications. It's
Oh, I
replicated.
guess.
Philippa Giorgio's earrings
But there's
never
a
fall
tailor.
off, and
There was a tailor digitally,
No, in Deep Space Nine.
but
I
That's
love
dumb,
he's such an
though.
interesting character.
It wasn't dumb.
I mean,
It's
like
great.
it's fine, but like
There's capitalism again too, because they were selling. He was selling suits.
a lot of their clothes are replicated. I guess it's like a novelty if someone like actually makes them by hand or something.
Yeah, it's like a handmade hat.
Yeah.
Haberdashery
There you go.
in space.
Anyways, so they give her the offer
Mhm.
to join Section 31, and she's like, okay.
I'll
Yeah.
do it.
Twist my arm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they immediately go on action adventure.
Yeah.
No, wait. Pause this,
Yeah, we got to go back.
because
Pause.
it opens.
Yeah, we got to go back.
We do.
Yeah.
Right. It opens with a flashback scene of her
Mm-hmm.
as
Oh,
a
yeah.
preteen.
On Terran.
I
yeah,
forgot
on
about it.
Terran,
Terran.
And what'd you say? 15, 16, somewhere in there?
Yep.
And I got the impression that it was like some kind of Terran Hunger Games,
Yep.
like the last one standing, right?
Yeah, her and San are
Mhm.
competing to be the emperor,
Mm-hmm.
and she kills her family. which
Poisons
is
them. It's gruesome. God.
just pretty cool, though. I mean, it's sad, but she's kind of badass.
Ugh.
It's a weird way to run a government.
It is very extreme. They're kind of dicks, though, the Terrans.
Yeah,
like
the
their
whole
jam.
the whole mirror universe just kind of doesn't really.
It doesn't really.
It doesn't make sense.
I guess it's like the opposite of this like Star Trek Federation ideals utopian thing. That's what
But they've done it so many times. They did it in Deep Space Nine with the evil Kira and
Yeah,
right, bisexual evil Kira.
super hot
so
bisexual
hot.
evil Kira. Very
So
manipulative
incredibly,
though.
Yeah.
She's kind of an ass.
Yeah, also badass.
Yeah, very
Yeah.
much.
Yeah.
They did it in Enterprise as well.
Yeah.
Right, where they're all wearing crop tops.
Oh, they
Yes.
did it in OG Star Trek as well.
Where they were also wearing crop tops.
Really?
Oh, they were. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Are we gonna have
Spock
an
was super
episode-
sexy in that.
Where we wear crop tops.
Only Captain Too Far.
We should do an episode where we discuss nothing but the mirror universe storylines.
All right.
Yeah.
And we wear crop tops.
It is all the same universe, correct? And we wear crop tops.
Can I be sick that day?
On Sundays, same. On Sundays, we wear crop tops
and
in space.
we'll have beards because that's the other way.
Oh,
you know
yeah.
that you're not.
Oh, we could have fake beards.
Oh, I can have a beard.
Yeah,
And a crop
okay.
top.
but I mean,
I'll be one of the boys though.
I could have a really smarmy like mustache.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Fu Manchu
Fu Manchu.
that hangs down. You know.
That'd actually be really cool.
It's
Yeah.
super hot. So anyway, so her and San,
Right,
which wasn't there some kind of a love interest between them as
Right.
her boyfriend?
right.
They're the last two standing, and then I know she burns him.
Well, because she killed her family, she won. He couldn't kill his own family.
that's right. They were both assigned the same task.
Yeah.
He said, "I have one more.
Nah.
I have one." Nah. Yeah.
Which actually, I want to go back to Discovery because there is, I think maybe it's in the first season where Michael's in the Terran Empire. And then, like, I don't know if that's true, but there's a scene where Michelle Yeoh is like,
Yeah, she
you should have
crosses over.
seen,
Mhm.
she said, you should have seen what I did to my mother. And there's like a line that you're just like, oh my God, what the fuck did she do to her mother?
Oh, and so that connects back
Yeah.
to interesting. So they must have already had this all in the works when they wrote.
Probably not.
I don't think
I bet
so.
you
I
they
think it was
did.
thrown together. Maybe AI wrote it, the
Yeah.
script or something.
Grok 3 beta.
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah. So she burns him with like a kitchen knife,
Yeah, with a sword.
a
Yeah.
ceremonial kitchen knife,
Yeah.
and he goes, ah! And then we pick up at the club, right? Bar, casino, space station.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fast forward to the
Right.
club.
Why
And,
does all the fighting break out? Everyone starts shooting at each other.
Oh,
Why does-
because
why does that
there's
happen
like
again?
the whole plot of the movie is there's like this weapon that she made as the
The world,
Empress of Terran,
ender.
and it was to, I don't know, destroy the universe or something.
Of course, yeah.
And so
Mm.
that thing comes back. They're trying to get that. I think that's what they're trying to get. And then this kind of this character comes in that's like a rando with a mask, and
Oh,
then
that's
her
right.
and
He
him are
starts
fighting
like
over it.
phasing out, and then
Yeah,
they
yeah,
have
yeah.
like Star Trek because Star Trek is known for its kung fu scenes.
Discovery is, and it's badass, I will say, especially when the women are doing it.
Was it? And it kills the first interesting member of their crew. That she's from
She's a Delvin.
the Delvin.
right? Delvin, Delton.
Delton.
Who the girl?
The bald girl in the brilliant
Oh yeah,
silver dress.
right. She gets vaporized.
She gets
yeah.
favored, and
Deltons
she
are
got
all-
to fight a little bit, and then they just smoked her.
Yeah. and the Deltons are only referenced a few times, I think. And the only other character that I can remember that was a Delton was from the motion picture.
Oh yeah, the very first Star Trek movie.
I don't know them.
We were gonna make you watch them all. So I wanted to preface this. The reason that she made the World Ender device is basically if the Terrans, if their world was ever invaded, and they knew, mutually assured destruction. She's like, if there's one red shiny button, if all else fails, I'm taking you with me, and
Right.
I'm blowing up our world so that you can't have it.
It wasn't just her world; it was everything. It's like somehow it magically destroyed all planets. It's like a galaxy-ending thing.
Yeah, World End. Yeah, Galaxy End. It's called
But
the
I
World
think,
Ender,
but
wasn't it?
I want to say, and I don't know, maybe we could look at it to find out. But I think it was even if just somebody like got to her, not even like threatening the entire empire.
Oh,
I
maybe
think it
you're-
was just like a. And
Maybe
then,
you're right.
But then she had a change of heart. She's like, that's a little much.
Yeah, I went a little too far.
Yeah.
It's like,
So,
I was mad that day.
okay, so, and this is what confuses me. So then she's like, just send that to that mystery warehouse where Indiana Jones' Ark of the Covenant went,
Yeah.
and just let it collect dust. This very super dangerous galaxy-ending weapon.
She thought that she had it destroyed.
Oh, she did?
Does that sound
Yeah.
right?
Because the other guy
Yeah.
says that he found it in storage, right?
Maybe San put it there.
That's the thing is,
Oh,
yeah, it wasn't.
don't
It
know.
wasn't destroyed.
Wasn't-
Somebody
okay.
obviously got it, and then it was. And came to.
And that's basically the whole movie. Is
Yeah.
them trying to get
end.
this thing.
Thanks
And
for
all
joining
these
us.
weird characters that I really thought they did a very poor job with. Like we've already mentioned,
Yeah.
the Irish guy with the little alien sitting inside of this
He's just-
avatar body, Vulcan body. He's just an annoying
And
character,
it's
obnoxious.
he's extremely obnoxious,
Yeah.
and I realize he's not supposed to be likable.
And his accent wasn't there all the time.
no.
It came and went.
And why does the little space alien in the robot body choose to have this really shitty Irish accent? Like, it just, whose idea was
And
that?
also
Who
that
are you to say that the Irish accent is shitty? I mean,
the,
come on.
the Irish
Michelle.
people, right?
Well, what's weird is at the end of the movie, when the little space alien creature, the microscopic guy's wife, comes, she's got a southern accent. So it's just like, how trite can we make this?
In a bad Southern accent. And I
Very.
know that because I'm from
With
the
a
South.
capital V.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we should go through the team, the Section 31 team,
Oh.
because Section 31 isn't.
We should really
It's
do
not a.
this.
It's not a spy organization.
Oh, okay.
It's a superhero group.
Now.
in this
yeah.
movie you're talking.
In this movie.
Okay, I don't
Yeah.
even remember the whole team. So let's go through.
So
it.
there's the Delton who's like, she uses her powers of seduction to.
Well, and she was a badass
Do
fighter
seduction
for like a
things.
minute.
Is she the Federation Starfleet girl?
No.
No.
But yeah, we can talk about her next.
Okay, but I don't remember the Delton.
The Delta was the bald
The first
girl that
one to
got-
get
Okay, she
vaporized.
dies.
Yeah,
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 yeah. Got
yeah.
it.
So she was super inconsequential.
Right.
But I think she could have been interesting. I
She
liked
could've.
her. I liked her presence
They
as
all-
an actress,
Well,
as a
most
character.
of them probably could have been interesting.
Yeah.
And then you have Starfleet Girl, which is like, she was like an attaché or some kind of attachment to the group for Starfleet, which
Was this the-
completely goes against the whole
Is this-
idea
Yeah.
of Section
Right.
31.
Is this the boss
Kind of,
lady?
yeah. She had like the bob wig.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know if she was a boss, but she kept saying, she told us like 77 times, I'm Starfleet.
Mm,
I'm Starfleet. I have morals because I'm Starfleet.
yeah.
Let's do some adventure.
And why would they put somebody like that in Section 31 anyway?
To annoy us.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you have Robot Man.
Mech suit guy. And
Mech suit
I
guy.
wanted to look up his name, the actor. I've seen him in other things.
Which was probably, especially in Star Trek, especially with the way he was designed, probably the single worst idea you could do for.
Why so?
I mean, I get that we're not. It's so tough
Yeah.
because this whole Discovery
Robert Kaczynski.
universe, right? It's not. They claimed that it was in the same. It's adjacent to classic series and Enterprise and like it's within
The canon or whatever.
the canon, yeah. But it's clearly not with the way everything
They're
is.
adding stuff on.
With the
Yeah.
way everything is designed, it's like it has to. You can't think about it as the same universe as anything that came before. Otherwise, it just doesn't work. And so
I mean, I don't know if I would
that.
agree with that, but
Yeah,
I think they're trying.
I don't think they're trying. At
I think
all.
they're trying to put it. Yeah,
I think they're trying to create their own thing. I don't think they're. I mean, they touch on elements like member berries, like like certain sounds and references and things like that.
Yeah.
sounds.
All right. Yeah.
But with the way they're handling everything, and the way even just with the way the ships are designed and all that, they've gone so far into mimicking the J.J. Abrams movies from a design standpoint
okay. Yes.
that
it does, yeah.
it just doesn't fit, right?
Well, because it's supposed to be before the original series, but it's way more technologically advanced than anything on the original.
It's way more
series.
advanced,
Yeah.
technologically advanced than anything.
Wait a minute.
It's
I
the
know.
same
That's supposed to
technology
take-
as what
That's
you
true.
see in Picard.
That's supposed to take
Yes,
place.
because
It's like,
Pike is
what?
the what do you say Kirk is the successor of Pike.
correct.
Mm-hmm.
So that
You're
means
right.
that Kirk and Spock, as an older man, come after Discovery. So Spock is a young man in Discovery.
No, you're right. You're right. I didn't clue into.
I know it's kind
I
of weird,
I blocked it out because that's fucking dumb.
but it's like, who's gonna make this like we're not gonna make a show nowadays with like boring ass limited technology. Of course they've got to
yeah, but
spruce it
there's
up.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
but you
They-
could do, you could balance it.
Yes.
And that's,
Yeah.
I mean, we're getting off topic a little bit, but I mean, that's what Enterprise did really well.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, Enterprise did do that.
Yes.
Yeah. Fair.
Enterprise bridged that.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, obviously you're not going to directly mimic 1960s
Mhm.
aesthetic down to the type of like shag carpet they used and all that kind of stuff. The jewels, right? You're going to do something a little bit different, but they took it so far
So far, yeah, I would agree
that
with
it's
that.
indistinguishable.
I think that's why I think it comes from
From-
later years later because it's
Right.
like it's 300 years
Like,
in the future.
well,
Well, it's just
as-
a fantastic show, though. I love Discovery, so you know,
As
works
an-
for me.
like when they go on Discovery, when they go into the future, they fit in with everything that's 700 years in the future
Yeah.
because their stuff looks exactly the same as everything else. There's
Yeah.
no like, oh wow, look at all this technology that we have.
The only
the
thing
o-
they don't have is programmable matter. Programmable matter.
Yeah, and the warp nacelles are actually
Yeah.
attached versus floating.
Right.
That's a whole other thing. Anyways, so on Section 31, having a mech guy, granted, what I was going for that originally is granted they're not in the same era as where Data is from a building androids kind of thing. But he looks so ridiculously clunky. It's like taking something. It's something that belongs in like a Marvel movie.
Okay, and also to that point, so the Section 31 movie also must take place around the time of the original series.
Yeah,
That's weird.
Yeah,
It is
just
weird.
It's,
Yeah.
it's really
When you think about
incongruous,
it, it's
you
kind
know?
of weird.
yeah.
Mhm.
It doesn't fit
Right.
at all.
No.
Even if you accept that, well, okay, the design is different, but it's the future, and so of course they're going to have all these things, and so the way they designed it before doesn't make any sense. Even if you accept that at face value, okay, fine. It still just doesn't really fit.
Okay, it doesn't fit, but I still prefer it to them actually getting it right. I do like the J.J. Abrams movies, and I do like Discovery, and I like all the fancy technology.
Nice. Okay.
I do not like Section 31 or the character you're just referring to. I think it's all.
I like the Abrams movies too, but I don't.
Yeah.
I don't like Discovery. So isn't that interesting?
But you like some elements of Discovery.
I do. Just, I wish
Um,
there wasn't so much crying. We could do a whole episode, on the fact that at least once or twice every episode somebody's blowing snot bubbles crying.
Life is hard, Shell.
It's true, especially as an unemployed Dabo girl.
Yeah, that's right. It's brutal.
The mean streets.
So you have mech guy.
Yeah, Zephyr. I
Who's
got,
like-
I got the crew names.
who's
here.
like-
Zeph.
in
Sorry,
the-
Zeph.
Zeph, yeah.
And even with the way they treated him, he's like, oh, he's just dumb, strong machine man. He punches things, right? He doesn't have any cool gadgets that he uses out of his stuff
Right.
or whatever.
And he has an inner conflict. He has some kind of he's got some kind of a breakdown with all of the mech implants that he's got this distorted self perception, right? I am me, and the suit is me, and I am the suit, right?
Mm-hmm.
That was his. But they
Yeah.
didn't really explore.
didn't go anywhere.
They mentioned that, and then you see him saying that as he's dying later.
Yeah.
But it didn't really,
No, it was very shallow. It was all very
you know,
shallow.
Super
and it's a
shallow.
movie.
Yeah.
It's not like you've got 45 minutes to tell the story. You could have.
Just focus on a couple characters
Just,
and do
yeah,
a good
flesh
job
them
with a
out.
few characters.
Right.
It's ridiculous, all
Yeah.
those characters.
And then you had shapeshifter guy
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
who was, I guess, a different kind of shapeshifter. He didn't shapeshift he wasn't like Odo.
Okay,
Wasn't
shapeshifter
he?
guy.
He was. He was like a changeling. There's only one type of shapeshifter. in the
Well,
Star Trek
the way he
universe.
shapeshifted though was like,
Well, that's just because it's like we're talking about. It's cool looking.
Was that,
Sorry, it just looks cooler that way.
it doesn't.
I mean,
Is
it
that
might.
Quasi?
But
Quasi?
I mean-
Is that?
is that
Is
his
this
name?
guy?
Quasi.
Man.
That guy? Yeah, that
Him?
Yeah. Yeah, I think so.
He was the one that was like they decided to make him like the comedic element,
Yeah.
but all of his jokes were just fell weirdly flat.
No, yeah,
Yeah.
because he was the one that he was trying to make everything literal or something. What was his shtick?
I don't know.
And he was terrified of Philippa, but it was
Right.
just the lines that
Yeah, the lines were.
well, you're
Not
you're staring right
terribly
into my
funny.
soul.
And then there was the Irish Vulcan,
Yeah.
who wasn't Vulcan,
That's her name.
And then there was the hot guy, Amari Hardwick.
and then
A luck.
and then there was the the boss guy.
Yeah, the hottie.
Um,
Would you hit it, or what do you think?
Oh yeah, Amari Hardwick. Alok, is that?
Yeah, Amari Hardwick.
would you let him play on your
Yeah.
Dabo?
Yeah.
I would like to explore his Jeffrey's tube.
Oh shit. Going right for it. Not even gonna get to know him first.
I mean, he can buy me a drink.
That's fair. That's
Yeah.
fair.
All right.
All right.
Yeah.
I'll pass.
Oh well, now that you say it, I would explore his Jeffrey's tube as well.
See. Yeah.
I'll watch.
Yeah. I mean, 3's a nice round number. So is 4. Yeah.
What other?
So I did not hate him.
Yeah, he was fine. And him
yeah.
and Michelle had a kind of a hot dynamic, I guess, or something.
And his backstory was super sad, and
He had a backstory.
I don't
he
remember.
did. He
For someone that fell asleep the first time, she sure remembers more details
Yeah,
than
she's
us.
doing good.
I talked about the augment war, and he was
that's right.
right, and then he was taken by one of the homicidal augments, and she forced him to go through augmentation.
Yeah.
My earring
I
keeps
barely
falling
remember
out.
that.
See, if I was an employed Dabo girl,
You could
That
afford
would've
your
gotten you
back.
fired.
I would afford.
That's why you keep getting fired from your jobs.
Because my parts keep falling off.
So yeah, he is from the eugenics war, and at
Oh,
some
right.
point he was cryo frozen and then woken up and died.
Well, so anyway, but his captor forced him to go through all these augmentations, and then basically kind of gave him the Borg, reprogrammed his mind, and forced him to do unspeakable things. And so remember, because Philippa was, because she's very good at pushing people's buttons and getting them to reveal themselves, and so that was her shtick. You convince me that you're just as dark and twisty as I am, and so
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
so they bond over their mutual
They were exchanging
genocidal
stories
tendencies
or something.
Yeah, well, she was in handcuffs in the interrogation room in space,
Right.
right?
So what the group reminded me of
Mm.
is like a discount Suicide Squad.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it reminded me of.
Mm-hmm.
It was Star Trek
It seemed
Suicide Squad.
yes, it did seem like they were or Peacemaker or
Yeah.
right, kind of. Yeah, it couldn't decide what it wanted to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that was definitely as far as the whole group, right? Because he was like he was the Deadshot character from
Yeah.
Suicide Squad,
Yeah.
or the or I guess in the Suicide Squad, maybe more of the Randall Flagg.
We have to explain that just to Ren.
Basically, the central straight man, right?
Yeah.
In terms of like, keeping the not keeping the group going in the direct, basically like driving the group forward.
The leader.
Yeah, the leader, sticking to the rules, like making things happen. Or
This is the
whatever.
Amari Hardwick.
Mm-hmm.
And then
This
and
is
then
the
all
Suicide Squad version of
Right.
all the
that
wacky
character.
characters are doing their wacky character thing.
Right.
Yeah.
And
Right.
he's the
Toeing the line. And,
Yeah.
Mr. Military or Mr.
Yeah.
Policeman or whatever it is when you have that kind of a
Right.
dynamic.
Yeah. Which as a trope, it's not a bad one, but again, it just I don't.
It is bad for this though. So this is, I think, the main point is that they could have done a much better job if we're looking at Discovery and the character development. We have Michelle Yeoh, who's the former Empress of the Terran Empire, And then, like, I think it was whatever episode I sent you guys, I think season 2, episode
so
5,
Yeah.
where she kind of goes away for a while and then she comes back on the scene and somehow she's working for Section 31 mysteriously. And Section 31 is like this place where, like, misfits, I guess, of some kind of power can easily end up with some work and feel like they can contribute
Belonging, have a sense of
in
belonging.
this in this like organization that skirts a gray area line, defending the Federation
Right.
without
Operates
having
out,
to report to them.
Off books, wet works. No rules, no laws, no oversight.
Yeah, so I mean, they just did like such a better job, like with her character. Like, she's such a great actress,
she's
and
so
it's
good.
like, yeah, there was just like a dark mysteriousness to it as well. That, like, they did this movie, this Section 31 movie was just kind of like a big, dumb, trite joke to me.
And that's so unfortunate, right? Because they've been alluding to Section 31 since Enterprise.
Yeah.
Right? That was the first time?
DS9.
DS9 was the first.
Yeah.
You're right. So we've been getting these little teasy bits, right, of this shadow organization all these years.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's
And
part
here's
of the
big
problem.
reveal, and just
Yeah.
Even in Discovery, when she shows up and she's like, "Oh, I'm working for Section 31," they're like, "Oh yeah, Section 31, the covert ops group."
yeah,
Right.
yeah.
There's no
Like,
mystery at
No
all.
mystery at all.
Well,
anymore.
there's less mystery there than there was in Deep Space Nine, where they're like, "What is this?" Like,
Yeah.
and Ben Sisko's trying to figure it out with Bashar. Is that his name?
Bashir. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was just so on the nose. And then the things
Yeah.
that they do, right? Because they're not doing, oh, we have to, secretly assassinate or stop the assassination of this politician, and it has to look like an accident or whatever. Like, no one can know we were there. And instead of doing that, it's like
Exactly that. Yeah.
Pow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Make sure
Yeah.
everybody captures it all in their viewfinders with their faces, and
Like, why?
right? Yeah.
Why did they have to
Why?
do such a bad job with the script?
I mean, even in Enterprise, where was it the engineer, right? He's the one that
Malcolm.
Was it Malcolm?
English
Yeah,
guy?
the English guy.
Mm-hmm.
He's with the giant stick up his ass. The by the book.
It wasn't as big as you think.
The
The stick or his ass.
But well, yeah, either. But remember, he was super conflicted, and he was
Right.
kind of forced into this double agent sort of role, and
Yeah.
and it was
It created, I mean, the story wasn't the greatest, but it created character tension
mhm.
Right.
and loyalty, issues.
Right.
And
Right.
like
Yeah.
this.
See, that's good. That's
I'm
good.
just saying,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same with Bashir.
Yeah.
You know,
True.
right?
Bashir is, yeah, and he made some very questionable decisions in the entire series, and that's when Section 31 came on, and I forget the agent. What is his name? I don't know. He's like the main agent that comes in the beginning, the guy with the short hair, and he's like laying out Bashir's questionable decisions about everything, like wanting to find a cure for the
Oh yes.
the Jem'Hadar soldiers,
the-
Ketracel White issue, which, by the way, I was saying if I was going to start a metal band, it would be called Ketracel White.
That would be an
That's
amazing.
pretty cool.
That
Yeah,
is a
it's
good
pretty
name.
sick. I'm probably not, so anyone can steal that, I
Still,
guess.
Yeah.
It's really good though.
Give credits though.
Copyright
Yeah.
Ren and Drama.
At least have your first EP or a song called
Yeah.
Ren and Drama.
But
Make it an
yeah, at the
instrumental
very
even.
least, that'd be great.
Name your first child Ren and Drama.
Anyways, yeah, Bashir looks like he's just not. He's not a guy that's in alignment with the Federation ideals necessarily. So that was a great kind
Or
of
just a free thinker.
moral tension there.
Well, especially
Yeah.
because he was genetically manipulated and hid that. And,
Yeah.
And even when they asked him at that one point, like, okay, if you wouldn't have been caught, would you have ever said anything? He basically all said,
Nope.
yeah, probably not.
Yeah,
I mean, he
did.
didn't say that, but I mean, he didn't answer the question either.
Well, his dad had to do like 2 years of time for it.
Yeah, that's
Eventually.
right. That's right.
Yeah.
And then even so, then in later episodes, Bashir was trying to narc on the Section 31, trying to double cross and lay a
Sloan.
trap.
Agent Sloan.
Ah, good.
There you
good
go.
memory.
Yeah.
And they were trying to catch Sloan, and it didn't really work out.
Right.
But well, it kind of did.
It did actually in the end. There were like 3 episodes, I think.
Yeah.
I think the very end they catch him and spoiler alert. I think he dies.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a whole thing. But the point is like they went through that whole story, and nobody blew anything up.
No, that's true. I mean, Deep Space Nine. There wasn't there was some action scenes.
Not Section 31 related though.
Excuse me. I'm
Are you
so
gonna
sorry.
die?
I hope we can. Can we just?
We can cut that out later.
No,
it out
nothing.
later.
This is raw.
Yeah,
We're riding this podcast
we might not have-
raw.
raw dogging it all the
Wait,
way out.
raw dogging it. We don't have time to edit that out. You're
Fuck.
right. Well, I mean, the older Star Trek series were maybe not as action heavy as like say Discovery or Section 31 or like the
Oh, they
J.J.
were.
Abrams.
They were from the very beginning.
No,
Very-
I mean,
not really.
compared to the
So-so.
new ones.
No, not at all. Yeah, they're paced very, very different.
Well, that's budget
Yeah.
though.
It is.
It's not
It's
budget.
totally
It
budget.
is. A
It's
lot
not
of it
budget.
is.
I mean, it's partially budget.
Sure, because they and,
It is partially
and
budget.
technology.
But
Yeah,
look at how much.
right.
But that's
Agreed.
but I think those constraints of budget led to better quality stuff.
1,000%. Like
when,
better
when you have
character
unlimited money and
development.
you're like, oh man, our spaceships can be this big and we
And
can
every-
love this many things.
yeah,
and we
and-
can have a mech man running around
and
he can
everyone's
punch
got-
through walls and like, oh, fucking sweet.
Everyone's got ADHD, so we'll just like make scenes cut really fast and have so much action.
And we'll
Nobody
zoom,
can
and we'll
sit
zoom
down.
out, and we'll
Yeah,
zoom.
no one can sit
Oh.
through any fucking character development, storyline. God forbid there's a storyline. God forbid.
God forbid. Talk about the noises.
The noises.
The noises.
Remind me.
Which noises?
Shoo, 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 shoo.
Oh my god! Every time somebody lifts up a phaser, it goes.
That's actually kind of cool though.
It's
No,
not cool.
It's not cool.
Why?
Besides your telegraph and your shot.
If I had a phaser and it did that every time, that'd be cool.
No, it
You would
wouldn't.
just
It wouldn't though, because people
Right.
would know you were about to shoot them, and
That's
if you're
true.
trying to be
I mean, think
stealthy,
about
That's
it.
true. That's
Yeah.
never
When you
mind.
pick up a gun.
I mean, I don't really pick up guns
But if
unless
you
they're
did- But
fake.
if you were
If
to
they're
do
fake
that-
guns,
yeah,
It doesn't make a noise when you move it around, right? Like why
No.
would it? It doesn't make any sense.
maybe it helps you with your
But
targeting.
and that's the thing. It's not just a Star Trek thing. Like every sci-fi movie
It's
now
true.
does this,
it's really annoying.
where you
Yeah.
raise the sci-fi gun
Yeah,
and it goes
yeah.
every single time.
I mean, it does seem cool though,
It
but
seems
it's
cool.
impractical
It seems
in every
cool,
way.
but it's not cool.
Yeah, I
It's
agree.
It's one of those
I
things
agree.
that's like maybe the first time it happened and like somebody switched,
Yeah.
like when they did it in Ghostbusters and
Yeah.
they switch on the proton pack. Like,
That
that
was-
shit was cool.
That was cool.
That's true.
That was some excellent.
I
mean,
can't
obviously
argue with
it's
you.
not even the
Some
same
excellent
kind of thing.
Foley work.
Was Section 31 in Picard?
I was trying to think about that. I think it might have. I don't. I don't think it was directly, but
Is
it
it
might
AI
have been
question?
referenced in season 1 when they were doing the whole Tal Shiar.
That's what I was gonna
storyline.
say. Yeah, the Tal
They-
Shiar.
If anything, they might have been mentioned in that, but they weren't. It wasn't part of the story that I recall.
Okay.
But the thing that bothers me, well, maybe not bothers me.
What bothers you, Chris?
What bothers me?
Did we do all the? Did we do all the?
Why
crew
does
members?
Pretty much.
the and this is not unique to Section 31. Discovery did this on multiple occasions as part of their like seasonal story arc, right?
Okay, right.
Why does whatever it is that they're trying to solve have to be a galaxy-ending event?
It's true.
Well, that they did it
It's true.
in seasons of Discovery. Every season had a galaxy-ending event,
Right.
Exactly.
Every single
But
time.
why?
which makes it like a beautiful, like 20-hour movie, maybe a 30-hour movie. Okay, I'm just gonna say it for our fans out there. I am a Discovery fan,
Yeah.
and I will on my deathbed, I will say.
You're dying on that hill.
I hope
When
you have
I am
something-
dying in my deathbed, I will say I will be writing a good review for
Discovery was all right.
I will be writing a Google
Yeah.
review on on some platform on my deathbed for Discovery.
And
Yeah.
when we'll be there,
And we're going to
Take
agree
your
to
hand.
disagree.
and we're gonna look longingly into your eyes as you're starting to fade. You were wrong. Discovery sucked.
No, you're gonna say like, all right, Ren, all right, we'll give you that. Go on, girl, you've lived a good life.
Yeah, you think it's
We'll
gonna
give you
it's
that.
gonna win us over in the future seasons?
No, it's not
But
gonna
it-
win you over. You guys are not gonna like it. That's fine. I don't need you guys
If
to like.
it-
I
the-
just need the fans to know that I
yeah.
like
If
it.
the
There are-
writing was better, I would like
That's
it.
all I need.
I
There
need-
are
I need-
it's not there are good things here
Yeah.
and there.
Yeah. But back to your point.
I'm gonna say there are good things here and here.
Here and here and here and here.
That's all.
But back to your point, when you have a universe-ending, catastrophe,
Yeah.
right? That's the apex, the climax, if you will.
Every single
time, it lessens the emotional impact of that fictional threat, right?
Okay,
It's
wait.
like,
hold-
here
hold-
we go again.
Wait a minute. So Discovery, every season is a threat to the universe.
Mm-hmm.
In like TNG, for example, every episode is a threat. So you're saying you like every episode to be a threat?
No,
Not
no,
at
no,
all.
I'm not saying that at all.
And
What
maybe
I'm saying
that's
is
an exaggeration to say every, but
I can't. I'm trying to think of. I'm sure there was. I'm sure they did something in TNG where it was like, if we don't do this, the entire galaxy is going to be blah, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it didn't happen very often.
you're the Borg.
Well, there's usually some kind of threat, innate threat.
Yeah.
And he's usually
Which is
like
normal.
like the quadrant. That a Borg is going to come in and take over the Alpha Quadrant. That was
Yeah.
or the Dominion War. Those
Yeah.
are probably the two biggest
Right.
things that I can think of. But otherwise, all of the stories, including the movies, were a little more contained. It's like a planet's in jeopardy, a group of people is in jeopardy,
Right.
we're in jeopardy,
Right.
whatever, right? There's always a sense of danger, and they're always
There's
trying to
conflict,
solve something, right?
sure.
Because that's what
threat.
makes the story.
Right.
But it's not always to the level of like, this little orb that's this big is going to blow up the galaxy, or like the what was the other one in Discovery where it's like
the sphere and the
Yeah,
one
that-
was on
there was that, and then there was the Red Angel thing, that the
Angel.
burn.
the burn. Yeah, I mean it's not all like, I guess it's kind of like leading to a big catastrophic event at the end of the series, but every single episode has like its own dramas going on.
I'm not arguing that. All I'm saying is that it wears thin when every challenge that they're overcoming is like the impending apocalypse.
Yeah, I mean I think it's what's fun about like TNG and Voyager and stuff is like sometimes they have like just dumb episodes where they're like on the holodeck and like when the holodeck character wants to escape whatever his name
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
What is that
It-
guy's name?
Moriarty.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
kind of stuff. I like those ones.
Some of those are filler episodes, but even the filler episodes give the characters time to breathe, right? Give the characters the time to grow incrementally, and obviously on a show that's as condensed as Discovery, because you only have 12 to 14 episodes versus 26 episodes.
Yeah.
And you're trying to do what's the term, serialized? Well, an ongoing story. I don't know if I'm using the right word.
Yeah, no, that's correct.
So they have to lead directly one into the other versus loosely one into the other, like when you have a more episodic type
Yeah.
series. So they have to, by nature, they kind of have to pack more into shows like Discovery and Picard,
Yeah.
Strange New Worlds, the more modern stuff, because they just don't have as much time
I
to
feel
get
like
those character moments.
maybe that's it. Let's say that's
I also-
partly it.
I
But
also think they don't care as much about those character moments as they used to.
Like I think like the whole population has some low grade or high grade ADHD. We're all on our cell phones all the time. They have to make stuff like cut fast and be interesting and more action packed and
You think that's it?
less
That they
story,
feel
less
like they-
story like But I think that's what Discovery does a good job of, like that character development in spite of lots of action. And I think the best is in season 1 with like Michelle Yeoh in the Terran Empire, and Michael has to go and pretend she's a Terran, and then like also into season 2 where like so Michelle Yeoh's like out of the Terran Empire, and like and I just watched the episode today. It was like 7 or something, like Michael's like not trusting her, and she's like, "You're gonna have to start to trust me, Michael."
Oh, that was at the end. That was the end of You Walked Out. That was the end of episode 5, season 2.
Yeah, it was just like really
Yeah.
cool because it's like
Yeah.
it's so
Or no, she said
interesting
keep a
because
little-
it's like you take her out of that environment and put her into this like Federation environment, and she, I don't know, like these redeeming qualities start to like slowly emerge in her character, and that's what's so fucking beautiful about Discovery is that dynamic of Michelle Yeoh and Michael Burnham. And I will die on my deathbed
No,
on that.
I hear what you're saying, but I mean, not that this is about. I want to do a whole episode about Michael Burnham.
I was going to say.
Oh
I was
God,
about
I'm
to-
gonna have to
yeah.
be drunk for that one.
Yeah. And I like her as an actress.
Because I think there's
I've
a
seen
lot
her-
of
Sonequa
She
Martin
was so good
Green.
in Walking Dead. Oh my gosh, so good.
there's a lot of those kinds of things that I think are undermined by really bad character development in other ways,
And yeah,
bad storylines
Yeah.
and other things that just kind of
Yeah.
get in the way of what you're, at least for me.
Yeah, I mean, I don't love all of Discovery. Like, I didn't love season 5. So if you want to,
We haven't even
drag
finished
on
season 5
that.
yet.
oh,
My big complaint with her, the way they've written her character, and it's not just her character. They did the same thing to Nurse Chapel Right.
Strange New Worlds.
on Strange New Worlds, where they've just Mary Sued the hell out of both of these characters. Mary Sue is an overpowered,
I can do anything.
I can do anything.
Everything comes easy.
Everything comes easy. I'm totally brilliant.
There's
I'm
a male version of that too. It's a Mary Stew.
Yeah, is that what it is? A Mary Stew? Yeah, and so and that's one of the things I think that
Is it a Gary Stew?
is it Gary Stew?
I don't know.
Chad Stew?
I don't know.
I don't know. You start to when you overpower these characters, especially female characters. It's like all girl boss, right? And to me, that starts to seem super performative, where you're trying to capitalize on this whole look at women can do anything, and she's badass and smart, and she speaks 9,000 languages, and she knows 4,000 different versions of martial arts, and it just you start to lose any relatability for me.
I can see that.
And there's it's the flaws. A lot of these Star Trek characters from all these series were deeply flawed in different
True.
ways,
Actually,
right?
that's a good point. But I think that's why I really like Tilly, for example, on Discovery, because she's always just like really self-conscious and like awkward, and like she's kind of like that comic relief.
She's definitely the fish out of water.
Yeah, I think it's cool though. It like adds a good element, like an authentic element, because they always portray these like Starfleet is the best of the best. So it's the people that can do all the kung fu. They're super fit. They can speak a million languages. They're like brilliant scientists, physicists.
And that's why I don't like Tilly. Because I don't think she represents that. That's actually why, not necessarily her individually, not to pick on her just specific. Again, we're getting way off topic from section 31.
Yeah.
But I think there's a level of a lack of professionalism in the modern series that is like, you watch 30 minutes of any of the original series, even the classic series, which has all of the 60s misogyny in it, and there's just a level of competency and professionalism that all of the characters maintain when they're talking to each other,
And
solving
decorum.
problems.
And
Decorum,
decorum.
that's a good way to
Yeah.
put it. That's just missing.
I think
out
that
of modern
kind of
Trek.
speaks to the modern times, though, that people are really like thirsty for like authenticity and like maybe breaking out of that.
I don't think it's authentic, though.
It doesn't come across.
Well, it's
as
authentic to her in the
yeah,
moment if she's
yeah.
like kind of a dork, I guess.
Yeah, I get that. It'd be one thing if she was like hey, we're on an adventure and we picked up this person, kind of like Book, right?
You and I don't like Book.
I don't
I
like Book.
like Book.
You
Really?
like him
I
because
like
he's
Book.
studly.
He's also gorgeous, but of course they've got him crying all the time now too. It's not okay.
Anyways,
He's a cat man. He's got
He
a
likes
cat.
his big.
Stop. leave
Maine Coon.
leave his Jeffrey's tube
It's got to
out
be
of
a
that.
Maine Coon, that cat.
I don't know.
They're upwards to 20 pounds. Those Maine Coons. Long-haired.
Does he have
Yeah.
a cat?
Yeah.
You don't remember?
Queen,
Queen?
what's her name?
Queenie?
It's not Queen.
Queen?
Gruff. Gruss.
He calls her a queen.
grunts.
Maine Coons are absolute units of cats, though. They're what?
Grudge.
Grudge. That's a good name for a cat.
I swear he says that's my queen. Anyways.
Yes, he does say
And they're
that,
and they're
but that's
kind of
not her
surly.
name. Her
They're
name
kind of
is not
surly
Queen.
by nature too, Maine Coons.
So
like
we need
Grudge,
to
that works.
we need to address in a separate episode
We're,
the,
yeah,
the some of the female dynamics of Star Trek and the characters.
we're way off topic.
We're way off.
We
That's
gotta
why
get
I'm
back on
mentioning
topic.
things that we need to come back and talk about because I want to bring this back to section 31.
Maybe we're done with section. We're done with section 31. We've been done. That's why we're talking
Let's
about
see.
Discovery.
Grudge.
Are there any good points
To section 31.
to section 31?
Michelle Yeoh,
Michelle Yeoh. Okay,
super hot
but as
and
from
cool.
from a
I know
story
what you're saying.
a story
I
standpoint.
thought I thought the end part was okay with like her and San fighting on the ship and stuff. It was okay.
Was that when they fought on the floaty things?
It was like the very end where they're like battling for the weapon, and he dies. I forget. I guess she kills him maybe in a fight, and then she's like,
Doesn't she try
let's
to?
Oh, yeah,
let's.
yeah,
She
yeah.
hugs him like let's just put this behind us, and then he's like, and then she has to kill him or something.
Hmm. And then right as he dies, he's like, "You're right.
You're
We're-
right.
we're
I was being
buddies."
crazy over here. You're
It is-
right.
It is Grudge, and I think that is a Maine Coon.
Yeah.
But book says that she's large due to her thyroid condition. So I just
Well.
wanted to, I was it's bugging me. It's Grudge. It's a Maine Coon, right?
Yeah, probably.
Let's just make the rest of it just a headless cat. Yeah.
So what did you like about section 31?
I'm Michelle Yeoh all day, everything.
Yeah,
Michelle
all day,
Yeoh.
every. Can we
Yeah,
just
it's
like
just the Michelle
adopt
Yeoh
her or kidnap
She
her?
could
or
she could
something?
adopt us.
Oh yeah, that works.
I actually thought her acting was kind of awful in section 31.
Well, she didn't have a script.
That's
There
'cause
was nothing to
thank
say.
you.
She had
Yeah.
nothing to
Thank
say.
you.
And
So
I
they
and-
just all she could do was like sit there and look hot,
And domineering, yeah.
which was all right, but it wasn't great.
No, it was again the writing. It was absolutely the writing.
There was
again.
the
I mean, it's
writing.
like the
There's
guy,
nothing.
the
There's
actor,
nothing going on.
the mech suit actor, Zeph. I've seen him in other things. He's a fantastic actor.
that character was horrible.
The character of the writing
and,
was
and
just
the way
horrible.
that character died,
No, I thought that bit was cool. I liked the way that they killed him.
kinda.
I thought
But
that
it
was.
I
happened-
just liked him dying, I guess.
You just
it
liked him.
happened-
I'm just glad he was
It also
dead.
just happened. It happened off camera.
Well, it didn't because remember I was just talking about this earlier that it shows they recover
back,
the
yeah.
ocular implant that
I guess it's
feed.
part of solving the mystery or
Then
whatever.
it shows him
It's
killing
exciting, isn't it?
killing himself. He
yeah, yeah.
he jams his little worry blade thing into his ocular implant, and then it goes all. Bleh.
Yeah, that could have been a fun
Blah.
setup too, where it's like, oh, he's got all these gadgets, and he uses these gadgets to solve certain things, like
Can opener.
he used the drill thing previously to solve a thing,
Right,
crack the safe
context.
or whatever, right? So
Exactly.
that then later when it's like, oh shit, the drill thing's going into his
Right,
face,
then
it's
you
like,
have some
we know what
trepidation.
that is,
Right,
right?
exactly, and that would have taken seconds to give some of these context clues.
They should have had us in the writing room
Seriously.
on this movie.
Seriously, it's just, and it makes you wonder, right? Was this a product of bad editing?
No.
And
Well,
maybe,
there was bad editing.
but maybe though we don't know how much was cut, how much wasn't
the script
used.
sucked from the beginning.
You know,
And there was no love interest for Michelle Yeoh. Like, she should have banged that guy, the hot guy.
She should have banged all of them.
all
should
of
have
them,
banged somebody.
everybody, all of them,
Like, male, female, like something.
all of them,
Yeah.
all at the
Not
same,
all of them.
of them.
At the same time.
No, not all of them.
At the same time. That's how the movie could have ended. Turns
Michelle
out it was
Yeoh.
all a dream, and it's a Section 31 orgy with all the...
Yeah,
Ta-da.
that would have been fun.
She'd have like a custom order orgy-sized bed in space.
I mean, she is
That's
the emperor.
Straight out of my fantasy, my
That's
Michelle Yeoh
disgusting,
fantasies.
Michelle.
It is. I feel so bad. Terrible. I feel so bad. So yeah, I like, but what I'm saying is, as far as the editing goes, there's a possibility, right, that they shot a good movie, that there
I don't
was
think so.
that there just hear me out, that there was a good screenplay, right, there was a good script, but what happens a lot, right, the disconnect between the bigwig assholes in the studio, right, running so disconnected from what you, the writers, directors, producers, are doing, right? and they watch the first run through and they're like, well, no, we need more action and more phaser sounds and you know,
I think
there's
they
just
planned it this way
right
from the beginning.
Well, I think the
and forced them to edit it,
triteness of it.
you know, a different way.
The
They wanted
triteness of it is just too. It's just like you guys were saying. It's like that other movie.
Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was one of the rare ones, though, right? Then they came back with a director's cut. That's the point I'm trying to make about this. They came back with a director's cut, and all of a sudden, it's like, oh well, why didn't they release this version in the theater? Because this is actually good.
Well, yeah, I see
And
what
the
you're
first
saying.
version, it was just, it was.
I see what you're saying there, but the problem is when you go into a movie like Suicide Squad, you know what you're going into. It's a cast of silly characters doing silly, stupid, actiony things, and it's a little over the top and whatever. Bad guy of the week, right? Section 31, or really anything Star Trek, is supposed to be a little more thoughtful than that.
Yeah.
Generally.
Yeah.
Granted, the movies, like the J.J. Abrams movies, dumbed down Star Trek cut a lot, and I think, and not that it wasn't fun, because like especially the first one, you know, it was brought some fun back to Star Trek.
Yeah.
But then they just got dumber, progressively dumber after that. The next two, I think they did 3 of those, right?
Mm-hmm.
When they're like, you know, fighting nanobots in space and defeated them with the Beastie Boys, like,
Oh, that was so dumb.
like what?
It was so
Like
dumb.
this is Star
and
Trek
I do
now?
like those new movies, but that part, yeah.
And I feel like
Super cringy parts.
Section 31 and in part Discovery, and Picard, while all of modern Trek to some degree has lifted that template and kind of run with it, as
Yeah.
it's like everything is shiny,
This must be-
glowy, there's
right.
lights everywhere, it's
Yeah.
action, it's pew
Right.
pew, it's like fisticuffs, it's like all these things.
Yeah.
You
And
try-
they
try to do-
think it's
yeah.
awesome.
Try to do too much, and then it just you lose the human element of it, the
And
emotional impact.
And I think it has its fan base, but it's not the majority of Star Trek fans.
Well, I think like the '90s Star Trek is like special in that nostalgic way because it's never going to be like that again. People's attention spans are too low.
I mean,
Is it, though?
Enterprise was that same way, right? It was, you know.
It was like similar in a similar time frame, I guess. Because it's like Enterprise happened and there was like a span of like how many years? 15 years or so before these movies started
So
coming out.
here's I think there's a litmus test for this. We take somebody that has not experienced Star Trek for the last 20 or 30 years.
Tamra.
Tamra. We put her in front of an episode of whatever, Deep Space Nine or something, and then put her in front of an episode of Discovery, and and have her tell us which of these two things, which do you want to watch more of and explore that?
That should be our next episode.
That would be super good.
Although
Not that-
maybe not the next one, but
She wants to watch the one with Data and Tasha Yar, evil Tasha Yar.
That's
get
a
it
whole. We need to talk about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do
and
need to.
That was
yeah,
a hot
So
episode.
super, yeah. So yeah, Tamara's really interested by the Data's like.
I mean, it's not. It doesn't.
I'm familiar
show
with
it.
the sexual
no, it's
positions
all
of 999 different galaxies.
It got Shell and I. Our wheels
we,
turning. on
we
that.
we were frothy.
We were one.
Good Lord.
like
Speak for yourself.
like your
I think
beer
there's
when
an
you
ointment
poured
for
it.
that.
Oh, I
Yeah.
wasn't frothing like a cappuccino.
Speak for yourself.
It poureth over.
my froth, it runneth over.
Ugh.
Yeah. I don't
How
know.
can an organization
But okay, go ahead.
Let's get
operate
serious.
in the shadows when they're blowing shit up all the time? So, okay, let me put it this way. Let's say that Section 31 or Discovery and Section 31 and all these modern Star Trek things, let's just say that they're in the same universe, right?
I mean, they are in the same universe.
Well,
they're supposed to be.
They're supposed to be, but they
Okay.
don't act like it. But let's say that they are.
Okay, I'm gonna say that they are.
Okay.
Okay.
How do you
what
get
you're saying
from
is-
this to the mystery shadow organization in Deep Space Nine when it was actually introduced?
I mean, how do you get to the movie we just saw to that? From
So
that?
original
Because-
Section 31, we see it for the first time 25 years ago, 30 years ago, to the same Section 31 that we meet in Discovery. Is
Okay,
that,
yeah,
or sorry,
it's-
not section. Yeah,
Yeah,
section,
it's
yeah.
mind-boggling.
See, it's not. It doesn't track.
It doesn't track.
Mm-mm.
It's not. It's very messy. It's not an overt operation.
Yeah.
Or shouldn't be. It is now. All of a sudden. I mean, Section 31 was supposed to be like this huge secret. Like, most of
Right.
the Federation didn't even knew that it
Yeah,
existed.
and Captain Pike was going off about it like he knew
Mhm.
it existed.
Oh yeah. It's like, oh yeah, the special ops guys.
Right.
Oh, okay. And because all she did when Michelle Yeoh showed up in that episode of Discovery, when she is in Spock's shuttle,
Mm-hmm.
and they captured the
Yeah.
shuttle, and she comes out, and it's like, and she's pretending to be other Philippa,
Yeah.
that the one that died at the beginning of the
Mhm.
Klingon War, right? I think
Right.
that's when she died.
Totally. Yeah.
The where was I going with that? Shit,
Oh man.
that's
Do,
painful.
do,
I just
do,
tilted.
do,
Hold on, I got to reboot.
do.
I forgot my train of thought, and I
Yeah.
wasn't even talking.
So you're talking about Section 31 and,
Yeah.
and how it changed from DS9
Went from action, from no action to
to
action.
being
and then
super
Philippa
secret.
came out on the ship.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she is pretending to be.
And you know what? Like Leland, I think maybe Pike knew about it because Leland
Oh, I remember
was his friend, and then Leland slowly starts to turn into a dick, especially when AI takes over his body and soul.
Leland.
Leland is like Michelle Yeoh's boss of Section 31 in
Oh,
Discovery.
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Because he ends up part of like and that's
The
another
AI
one.
control thing.
That's another one where they basically did the same thing that they did in Star Trek Beyond, where it's like, oh, we have to fight all those space nano robot things, and it's like a big battle.
Well, it's AI.
Well, whatever.
Is
I
that
mean,
the,
it's
is that the
still-
hot actor from Resident Evil?
No, it's not the hot actor.
Not hot.
No. I will show you a photo.
Maybe I'm thinking that who's supposed to be president or of Earth or whatever that they end up in Discovery they're going back and forth with him all the time as he's some politician or whatever or some
I don't know what
Pi-
you're talking about.
it's her boss.
That's her boss in Discovery, Leland.
Yeah, that's not what I'm thinking about. So he's Section
He's
31.
not a super hottie.
So
He's just
I mean,
okay.
unless you're into that.
what I
so-
was thinking
Yeah.
of when she came off of the shuttle and they captured her and they're in the turbo lift.
And Michael's like still holding the gun at her, and she's like, "Oh, nice welcome, Michael."
Right. This is after that.
Okay.
So what Philippa pulls the badge, the Star Trek badge, out of her pocket, and it's just a slightly darker shade of gray, and just from that cue, they're both like Michael and Pike are both like, oh, Section 31.
Right.
Okay,
I mean,
cool.
why didn't you say so?
Yeah,
And
Yeah.
that took place.
you must be on a secret mission.
in the timeline before Deep
Like-
Space Nine.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Stupid.
Yeah.
Well, also, I learned
Agreed.
on the YouTubes today that Section 31, since its first appearance in the 90s, their uniforms have been the same for 200 years. Just this all black leather.
I mean, it's kind of universal. I mean, when does it go out of style?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Black is always in.
Black leather straps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
There's
I
a
mean,
little
nothing
factoid.
says covert operations and blending in
Like black,
like
blackity blackness.
black
Yeah, that's
leather outfit with
basically
straps.
most of my wardrobe.
Yeah.
It's a good
See?
color.
Are you part of Section 31?
Oh, you might be Section
See?
31.
Disguising yourself as a
It's a-
Davo girl.
It's a
That's
secret.
her cover, dude. That's her cover.
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
Give us your best
Is
Keanu
it wor-
Reeves.
Is it working?
I know Kung Fu.
I know lobes. Oh, how
Umox.
filthy umox. Who doesn't enjoy a good umoxing?
What is the Umox?
Oh my gosh.
That's
And
it.
you
And
call
you
yourself.
Come on, let her off the hook.
It's the
Is anyone gonna
Ferengi
explain
ear sex.
Ferengi ear of the lobe.
Wow,
the
I
love,
did not know that.
Love,
Yeah,
love, yeah.
Umox.
There's like 999.
Stroking
It's like the
the
Kama
lobes.
Sutra.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's many ways.
It's a massage. You
Mm.
never see anyone finish.
I remember, my mom and dad were just visiting, and I put on an episode of TNG, and it
Uh-huh.
was the one where Picard is like on Risa, And that, like, I think it was like the guy who plays Rom plays another Ferengi.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah?
And my mother's just like, what is this? Who is this? I hate this. I hate these aliens. I hate this. It's so weird. And I'm like, how do I explain Ferengis to my mother?
Did you?
I didn't try.
Did you
No.
show her about the Umogs?
I did not.
See,
Is
that's
that the one
what
where
was
he
missing.
meets Vosh?
You can call her and tell her if you want.
Yeah, the archaeologist,
Yeah.
the slash,
Vosh.
Yeah,
slash,
Vosh, that hottie that's
she's
like got an
right.
avoidant attachment style.
Right.
She's always like running away.
And didn't we just see her again recently? And
Yeah, she shows up with Q.
yeah,
When? Where?
in DS9.
Oh,
It was on
yeah,
DS9,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
On DS9, yeah.
Yeah.
She and Q
Yeah.
dated for a while.
Yep. He
Can you
gave her the
imagine?
Cosmos.
Yeah,
I bet he
Is what I'm
did.
saying.
we
Wink,
do.
wink,
And then
wink,
she got
nudge.
sick of it and broke up with him.
Can you
Yeah.
imagine dating Q?
Ugh. He'd be so narcissistic.
It's another thing that was irritating about Picard, but that could just be like we could do a whole other series of episodes of why so many of the things about Picard did not work until the
You mean
last
Picard,
season.
Picard the show?
The show,
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah.
Why? Was Q in there?
Mhm.
Really?
Mhm.
I didn't watch.
Spoiler, sorry.
I don't think I watched
Sorry.
much of the first season.
Q's not in the first season.
No, it was a season
Yeah.
two.
Right?
Season 2, I believe, right?
I gotta get back and watch it again, obviously.
Yeah, I think it was it. Yeah, it had to
Oh,
have
yeah,
been,
it had
had to
been,
have been the second
yeah,
season. It was after.
Second and third. He's in the last season too, right?
Or maybe it was the third. Is the third season the one where
yeah, I have
there was the
Do we have to go to the?
second season is where they go back in the past, and then the third season is when they have to get. Oh, the third season has Section 31 stuff in it. I want to say.
Oh shit, we haven't prepared at all.
I think I had to have been Section because they go to like the secret museum or whatever with all the. There's
Season
references.
2, Episode 2 is his first appearance on Picard.
Okay, so it's part of the time travel. We should know this stuff a little bit better.
I know.
Yeah,
but
we
don't.
should.
Let's see.
Any other thoughts on Section 31 as either as an organization or the movie?
Well, I'm.
What about Ash Tyler? Anything about him? You thought he was hot?
Is
Hot
that
or
the kid
not,
from
Shell?
Home Alone?
Macaulay Culkin.
No, sorry.
Ash Tyler, the
Not
half
Home
Klingon
Alone.
Vogue,
Home Improvement.
and no,
The what now? What?
I don't know.
Who? Ash Tyler.
Ash Tyler, he's the
Tyler.
guy you said was hot. Vogue, the half Klingon, half Ash Tyler man with a beard, who's in Section 31.
Oh, the one that had the romantic interest with
Michael
yeah.
Burnham, yeah.
Yeah.
Hot or not? Would you
I-
hit
I-
it?
Yeah, 2 times at least per day. Yeah. But I mean, he was one of those characters. I thought that they did an okay job, developing his character. Somewhat.
Yeah.
He wasn't annoying. He was, his character was interesting. I thought he presented a good foil, kind of, to Philippa's personality.
Right.
Wasn't there was some chemistry there between them, so that wasn't completely flat.
They're
Sometimes
supposed
they
to
try to
be-
force that chemistry, and it just doesn't
Like
work.
with Book.
Yeah.
Yes,
They're
there's
supposed
no
to be,
yes.
Ash and Philippa are like the outcasts of the galaxy that get involved in Section 31.
hmm
Yeah.
Yeah. So his backstory, I thought that they actually gave some context clues, and whereas where so much of the other crew members, there's just nothing. There's just you don't really, other than the introductions that they make in the very beginning of the first when it first starts. I mean, you don't really get much, to get to know these people really well.
They tried, and the way that they tried was when they did those scenes when the characters are like doing the immature bickering with each other,
Like
And
brothers and sisters,
and they're trying to do. Are you talking about the Section 31 movie? Or are you talking about something else? Okay.
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
Section
what you're
31.
talking about.
Section
Oh, okay.
31.
Yeah. So that when they're trying to be, they're trying to mimic a Marvel movie. With
Yes,
the
with the-
characters
yeah.
kind of going back and
Yeah.
forth, or
Yeah.
and it
Yeah.
just
It was a
it just-
different, yeah. It
didn't
wasn't
work.
Star Trek.
But that
Yeah.
was those were the moments where they're like developing the characters, because that's all you get.
Right.
Everything else is like
Yeah, you just
action set.
It's like
pieces.
seeing siblings bicker. Like, how is that
right. And
interesting?
even though we, like, for example, the mech guy Zeph, his death, his horrible, gruesome death, fell absolutely flat
Oh yeah, everyone's like,
with
meh,
with
because
no
nobody liked him anyways.
nobody gave, and I mean, if and you can make an unlikable character likable, like Peacemaker. And we keep coming back to that universe. Peacemaker is another John Cena, the wrestler actor, who plays this. I don't know, like the Budweiser Captain America, like the redneck Captain America, like just yeah. I'm doing a terrible job
No,
of
you,
this, but
you yeah, you.
he's
pretty much
not.
got
He's
it.
he's a horrible person. He's a morally questionable. He just has zero redeeming qualities. He's completely full of himself. He's this giant ego, but at the same time, you you you
He
love
has these moments.
and
Yeah.
you love him, and you want to root for him. And if he died, you would be sad.
Right.
And
We
that
didn't
show
really
is
feel sad with
genuinely-
this guy.
That show is genuinely funny. as
Oh my
well.
gosh, she'd
If you haven't, if you haven't watched Peacemaker,
she'd
you
like
really should.
Peacemaker.
So
Yeah.
So getting down to watching, who is the audience for Section 31?
Like,
Well-
who will like it?
Yeah.
I think people that do not know the Star Trek universe might. I don't know if I could say they would enjoy it. Actually, if you read it, the reviews of Section 31 on any platform, they're very, very bad. I don't know. I don't even know if somebody that didn't know Star Trek would enjoy it that much, to be honest.
I don't think so either, because there's enough references and stuff to other things that have already happened that you kind of have to know, at least to some degree, what's what this organization is at least supposed to be, who this character is, and why she's important. And,
Right.
There's some references. The story is fairly self-contained, but there's definitely especially the whole, the alternate dimension and the Terran Empire. I mean, yes, there's the flashback, but that's mostly not going to make any sense to a casual audience. Certainly not going to resonate.
No, you have to have had watched Discovery for it to make sense.
And then Star Trek fans aren't going to like it
No.
overall.
No,
I mean,
they're
some
not.
will. I'm sure there's some.
Maybe.
But this is the
The
point.
vapid ones.
When you were talking about earlier about Discovery Section 31 and how it's gotten away, at least in our opinion, from the Star Trek formula, if you will, right? And your point was that it's the modern age, and people want, they want flashy, they want fast, they want this frenetic pace, and
Yeah.
and all of that. I think Section 31 as a litmus test to that idea from Paramount, that this is what people want, right? Maybe there was another hour of emotional character building. They cut that shit out. We need more explosions. And now here's the Star Trek fan universe saying, what the fuck did I just watch?
Yeah, people don't.
And so as a
fully
litmus
like
test, it proves that this is not the Star Trek. This is not the Star Trek universe that fans want to see.
You're right. I mean, they went overboard with it and missed a lot of things, and it does prove that even though people like more action these days, we do need some more meat to
Sure.
all of this.
Sure. Yeah, I love action. I mean, I'm all about the
You have to care about the characters.
Like 100%.
We're still people.
100%.
Yeah.
I mean, the only character I felt any sort of emotional tingles for was San, her childhood, Philippa's childhood boyfriend. I mean, that poor guy. But I mean, I can't really say that I felt any sort of emotional pathos, right? You just. I mean, that's the okay. How many times have we watched all of these series over and over and over and over again? We know what's going to happen, but there's this human element. These characters, Trip and T'Pol and Riker and Odo or Kira, right? You feel like you're connected to these people, and and they're friends, they're familiar people. They're part of your life.
Yeah.
They brings you comfort. You want to see them fail and succeed, and right. I mean, that's what keeps bringing us back, is to watch these things over and over and over again. And that element was completely missing in Section 31.
Agreed.
And
Well, no, I would disagree with that. When I first watched Discovery, I was blown away by how much I cared about the characters.
Really?
Oh yeah. Oh yes.
That's a definitely a discussion that would be fun to have.
I think I'm more.
'Cause
Emo.
I don't
I'm
wanna-
more emo than you guys. Maybe.
Well-
I like the
I
crying.
think I'm jaded. I'm more jaded these days, right? Just suck it up, Buttercup.
Suck it up.
Suck it up.
So,
Yeah.
in closing,
In
because this has gone long, I think.
We could record a second one right now. Just keep going on a
Let's
different
just keep
topic.
going.
If you want to watch a lot of kind of sometimes badly done CG action in the Star Trek universe with one redeeming character, Philippa Georgiou,
And her wardrobe deserves its
with
own
an amazing
award.
wardrobe and not really much to do or say other than punch things in their face
And
and then
then
have
kung
quippy
fu.
lines,
And look hot.
And let's cut and do kung fu.
then you might
Yeah.
want to check out Section 31, the movie.
Yeah.
Streaming now.
Agreed.
on a vid screen near you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, until next time, I'm Captain Too Far.
I'm Ren Andromeda.
And I'm still shell shock unemployed Dabo girl.
And we'll see you next time.
Yeah.
Bye.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye. Is that how we're gonna end it?
It's so bad.
How did we end it last time? It was so much better.
We could end with the boob cam.
Oh, that's right. You made a boob joke.
Yeah.
Oh.
Did I? Did I make
have
a boob
boobs,
joke?
Have boobs will travel
Have
or something like that.
Have boobs will rub lobes. I got nothing.
We'll warp into your
Oh.
living room
I will-
next week.
I'll explore your Jeffries tube next week and stuff.
and stuff.
Boobs.
I'm gonna ask AI to come up with some Star Trek boob jokes.
Boob jokes. All right. Is that Gemini?
It won't. It refuses to.
Seriously?
Yeah. It says, why did the Ferengi captain bring a ladder to the negotiation table?
Why did that?
He wanted to make sure he could reach the highest profits.
Oh,
Wow. Wow.
Okay.
That,
So
wah, wah, wah.
that's how we end every episode.
Is it to the
a
shitty
bad-
Star
With a
Trek?
shitty
Bad
Star Trek
joke.
Yes.
And then we just
like
get
it.
all sad.
I like it.
Yeah.
We're like end on a high note every time.
All right. That
But
sounds good.
I mean low note.